Hi friends, how are you doing? My name is Miriam, and amongst many other things, I'm a poet, and I'm sitting in an armchair, hence the armchair poet. I wanted to share a poem with you today that I finished writing very recently, in fact about 15 minutes before recording this. And it's a poem that's full of questions, and sometimes questions help us to reflect. So can I invite you to, if you would like, grab a seat, take a deep breath, and take this time to contemplate. This poem is called the Ark of Isolation, and it goes like this. The water laps at the side of the wood, and everything stays the same. I've been thinking about Noah and Mrs. Noah and their kids on the Ark in the days of waiting in the windy, wandering, floating estate, that Ark of Isolation. What did they know about the shape of the future? What did they learn in the Ark? What days were they intentional, focused, productive, disciplined, and what days did they weep and watch Netflix waiting with the animals, targeting a little too close to home for them perhaps, but with fewer guns? How did they feel about the shape of the future? What did it all look like at first? A drama at a distance, so far away, the neighbours dismissing them, laughing as they gathered or hoarded grain and beast for the lockdown, with animals, seasickness, an abundance of toilet paper, and only each other for company. Locked in together on a life-saving cruise ship. It's a strange, bittersweet irony. How did they feel about the shape of the future? How did they feel about each other? What about the days when community felt like paradise, all laughter and smiles, shining eyes and acts of servant hearts, with group brunches or laughing lunches or dance parties to ancient Near Eastern pop classics, when they felt like they'd finally achieved whatever God had built them to be? How did they feel about the shape of the future? How did they feel about each other? What about the days when just talking was a battle? When the voices of fear, frustration, history, within their heads or without, were too noisy or too loud, when hurt felt too big and personal to hold without oven mitts, too tall and wide, like the wall in your mind at the 3/4 mark of the marathon? How did they move forward? When did they realize that some hard work can't be washed away by any amount of rain? How did they feel about the shape of the future? And what of those in-between days melting together in a haze, simply seeking each morning to make meaning in mundanity, each day waking up to the rain? The water laps at the side of the wood, and everything stays the same. How did they feel about the shape of the future? And then, when the lifting of flood restrictions came, the rain has stopped, nothing will ever be the same, the future is in sight and so bright, right? Right? How did they feel about the shape of the future, each day waking up to the drying wind? Those eager moments, the end is in sight, but then one more windy day, and one more windy night. Still, the water laps at the side of the wood, and everything stays the same. At last, one sunny day, the dove that had gone out came from away with olive branch and hopeful stance, a whisper of hope, warm bird, cold hands. Another few months to add to many before, and the boat stopped swaying as it had found a mountain shore. And still they waited, so long they waited. How long does it take the ocean to recede? How long till they'd at last be set free? What had they learned? What had they wept over? When would the final wave pull back its cover, each day still waiting in watery quarantine, so close but unknowing, so close but no vaccine, peering over the side of that Ark of Isolation, rejoicing and grieving this painful gestation. What things are new? What things remain? When the water stops lapping at the side of the wood, what will stay the same? How did they feel about the shape of the future? How did they feel about the shape of the future? What did they dream about the shape of the future? What did they dream? One day, they are reminded. Look up! A stream of colour across the sky. They are not alone on that mountain top. What do you dream? What covenants still hold you firm? The end. I wonder how you're feeling about the shape of the future. And what are the things that are holding you firm? Remember, in the midst of all of it, you are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. I'll chat to you next time.